Oh, that was on time as well today. Blap. Because you know what I got to do? I press start on the loom and it goes 3, 2, 1, but it doesn't always blap at the right time. Then I've got to press the top button on the camera. Oh, and I got them in sync today. Bang on. Sometimes I'm a split second off, but not today. Not today. What are we doing today? And what are we doing? Once my computer loads, let's get this shabam up. We are here. See that little edit there? Oh, that was sick, that one. Why? Every kid should learn combat. Combat sport. Why do I think everyone who is a little kid should be put in combat as a young age, or at a young age? Now, first off, teach discipline. This is very important with kids, to teach discipline. Have you ever come across a kid that has daddy issues with money? Maybe their dad won't let them buy an iPad and they get annoyed. It's probably because they're not being taught discipline about money from the get-go. And this is why this discipline from combat can go across to every aspect in life. I wish I started when I was a kid. I wish my parents put me into some sort of combat as a kid, as a young kid. But what it is going to do, it's going to make sure you turn up weekly. And I don't mean discipline by you got to get up early in the morning, you got to be there every single day, because let's be real, we don't want to push stuff like that onto kids. We want to let them do it because they enjoy it. But having a weekly schedule is some sort of discipline. They've got to turn up on a Monday at 5 o'clock every single week. And that is discipline. Because I know for a fact they're probably not going to want to do it every single week, because that is just how humans work. As well as that, they are going to have to listen to a teacher. The teacher is going to have set instructions that they want the kid to follow. Even for myself, a teacher, for me, I call him a coach. The coach will have a set instructions for the sessions. I've got to follow them. And in order for me to follow them, I've got to have some sort of discipline to listen to what they are saying. So it's very important as a kid to get that installed. Otherwise, when they get older, it's a little bit hard to grasp those sort of concepts. That's why I didn't learn discipline through fighting or combat. I learned it through other sports. I've got so much discipline in sport or fighting now due to the fact of how my parents raised me. I was doing sport every single night and I was doing it week in, week out. Different sports, they take me to every single session, and that taught discipline within me, because even, to be honest, when I didn't want to do the sessions, I still turned up and did them. And another thing, it will show consequences for bad actions. This is everything in life. If you do something, everything has a consequence. And if it's something bad that you've done, it will lead to bad actions. And before you get into it, I'm not meaning they throw a jab wrong and they get punched clean in the face. I'm just talking about the concept as a whole, because it is applicable in life. Now let's get on to it. Confidence. Confidence is key, especially with kids. Kids, at the bottom point, you can see bullies. Kids don't like getting bullied. I don't think anyone likes getting bullied. So if you've got confidence, you are less likely to get bullied, because you're going to have bully protection. The reason you're going to have bully protection is because even as a kid, if you know you do a little bit of wrestling here and there, jiu-jitsu, you're going to hold yourself a little bit differently, even when you're 8 years old. Even when you're 8 years old. And because of this, it's then going to help you make more friends, because you're a little bit more confident, because you hold yourself differently. And the reason for that is because you are capable. You're a capable young kid, and you've just got the confidence from being in those little uncomfortable situations in the combat sessions, in the training sessions. I don't know why I put those bullet points back to front, but I do it differently, because you know what? I'm built different. But the main thing is, I believe, you get a kid into combat sport, their confidence is going to go through the roof. You've heard so many stories how kids start martial arts because they're getting bullied. And how do they stop getting bullied? It is because their confidence. Because I tell you for a fact, even if they can't fight, but their confidence is there, and they stick it on that bully is probably not going to pick on them anymore, just because they make them look like a fool. And that is all down to confidence. Next point, it is a life skill. I believe combat sport should be like swimming. Every kid probably did swimming when they were 5 years old. Why? Because your parents didn't want you to fall in a river and drown. They wanted you to learn the life skill. And I think that was fighting. Because even now as an adult, I walk by and I feel, I don't want to say sorry, but I feel some people are so intimidated by the people around them just because they don't have a skill where they know they can protect themselves if it came down to it. Whereas if I'm walking down the street, I know if it kicks off, I'm okay. Because I can protect myself, I can get myself out of the situation. I don't mean I can knock them clean out. I mean I can get myself out of the situation and be safe. And that is the same when you are a kid. You learn it when you're a kid. If you do it once a week or twice a week for 5 years, you're going to have some sort of skill and they'll take over for when you start becoming into an adult. And for the main thing, it's going to protect you from harm. Because, I'll be honest, every parent never, ever want to see their kid get hurt. Especially by someone else putting hands on them or physically. They want their kid to be capable of sticking up for themselves. And if that is not the case, you don't need to listen. But in my humble opinion, I would never ever want my kid to get picked on and not be able to protect himself. Because I will feel as a parent myself, I'm not a parent, but for when my kid arrives in the not the near future, the far future, because I don't want them soon, give me a good 10 years, I want them to be able to protect themselves and be confident if anyone ever started on them. And yes, I'm talking about kids, so it's not going to be realistic when an adult starts on a kid, but if an 8-year-old starts on an 8-year-old, I want them just to be able to protect themselves to get out of harm's way, because then I've done my duty. Everyone's going to be saying, oh, getting hit in the head as a kid, that's well bad. I don't want my kid in the future to be doing head contact. Now this whole presentation, I'm not recommending it for your kid. This is just what I'm going to do for my kid. It's what I'm going to do. But I believe everyone should do this. But you can take it with a pinch of salt. Avoid head contact as a kid. Why? A kid should not be getting punched in the face at 5 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. No, don't want that. For me, I'm not going to let my kid do head contact until he has grown up a bit more. I'm going to put my kid into grappling once a week, wrestling or jiu-jitsu. I would put them into Muay Thai or boxing, but I wouldn't want them doing any sort of head contact sparring at all until I think the time is right. Because I do not want to be putting my kid through punches and punches to the head before he's 10 years old. I will make it a non-negotiable until they're probably 11 years old. Like swimming, I had no choice about swimming. I had to go. And if I didn't want to go, tough, you're going anyway. Because my mum didn't want me to drown if I fell in a river or a pool or even the sea. And that is what I think about combat. I'm going to make it a non-negotiable until they're at an alright age. And by this, I'm not going to force them to do sessions on sessions. Just once a week, an hour a week, and they've got to do it. It's just like school. You have to go to school, or kids have to go to school. I think this should be in the school curriculum as a non-negotiable thing. But that is my personal opinion. You may agree with it, you may not. But I'm going to make combat sport for my family, for my kids, the same as many parents do for swimming. I think those two are the two most important sports to do as a non-negotiable as a kid, just for the main reason of life skills. I don't care if they're good, I don't care if they're going to be a champion, I don't care if they try and pursue it. All I care about is them being able to protect themselves from being harmed by anyone trying to jump them or start on them or do anything like that in the future. But that is my opinion on why every kid should learn combat sport in some manner. It doesn't mean be a world champion, it doesn't mean do 8 sessions a week. All it means is have a consistent regularity of going to a combat gym maybe once a week. And even if that's just hitting the bag let off a little bit of steam, but it's going to do wonders for them, and I believe it's going to help them in other aspects of life, not only physically, but mentally as well. And that is today's video. Bish, bash, bosh, pow!